he wouldn't know what I meant by it. So I really thought I could do it myself. And I really could have if this hadn't happened.
Yeah.
So I'm on the aisle side. I didn't even have to cut. It's tucked. It was going. So I ran around to the other side and I had just put in a fresh blade. Brand new. The bitch was sharp. I had
That's why it
just,
didn't hurt.
that's why it didn't hurt. And
That's
that's
why
why
it
it didn't
didn't.
do a lot of ugly damage either.
Mm.
Because it's just so when I got on the other side, it was too much. It had built up in there. I was like, all right, pulled it out, went to cut because I'm holding the thing, and I went like, bah, and that
Ooh.
shit, boop. And I didn't even like. I felt that I had touched myself, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hurt. There wasn't no immediate problem. So I kept going, and then when I looked over, I seen the little. So right about here, it's about an eyelid opening worth of a cut. That's what it looks like. And I knew I had touched myself, but it felt like any other day. You
Yeah.
feel me? It felt like any other day. So, where you nick yourself or, we were always running into shit and doing whatever. So I ain't really think much. I just kept, and then in a motion, I saw that it was open and that wasn't a big deal, but I was seeing parts of my epidermis.
What color was it? White?
Yeah.
What that
Yellow,
is?
yellowish white, same
Mm.
thing. It's the
I don't
same
know what
thing.
that is
That's
though,
the
but
first. Well, you wouldn't until you split yourself open, and I mean, when this happened, when the joint happened right here with the trimmers, because I just and it just and I knew it. I was like, ah, I know to apply pressure first, so I just and nobody wants to look.
yeah.
Nobody wants to look because and that's referencing the first time on the casting line. But then this didn't feel like nothing, man. It felt like I maybe had just great like I grazed shit all day, bro. Right? Like I
Yeah.
grazed shit all day, and boop, and then I'm still doing this, and then while I'm holding up I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I seen a part of my insides that I had not seen before.
That's bad,
Now, I
man.
ain't making it to seem like it's worse than it is.
Yeah,
Like it
it's gotta
wasn't
be
it
bad.
wasn't it wasn't because there was no blood, zero blood. I didn't bleed until like blood started coming up around it. I was already up by the offices and stuff. And the last I had checked, like, cause my thing is I'm pressure on,
Yeah.
right? So then they started like, what happened? I was like, so I looked, still wasn't much blood, a little bit, because I only had one of them wipe offs, them napkins we get, you know, and I looked, and I was like, okay, so I did see that we calling it hamburger meat.
Oh man.
We calling it hamburger because
Oh
other
man.
than it not being the right color, that's what it looked like. And it wasn't like it was popping out. Like I'm not fucked up, bro. Like like I got myself good, but
You
it was
had
probably
to
in the
because it's
best
hard cutting that
condition,
material.
probably in the best conditions that it could have been in. I can work with that. That don't get my heart pumping. I was cool. Like I made a conscious decision. Like I'm not sure where you were, but you were all the way back there
Yeah, I was.
doing your thing. So my first thought was not to come swing around and tell you that, hey man, I cut myself. I'm about to dip off. That really was not my first intuition. Even though as I'm walking off, I it was in my mind though. I was like, because at some point, the rest of that shit gonna fuck up. Dad's gonna have to come out and be like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And I knew it would be just you and the new white guy, right? I,
Yeah.
I, kn- I already knew that, but I also knew like, oh shit, like I need to handle this. So I just walked. I just walked. I knew with you over there, eventually, however chaotic it got, it would be figured out.
Yeah, I
You
got
know,
it
you wouldn't like,
smooth.
where's Jeff? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He ain't say shit. He ain't say shit. But I knew with you over there, it'd be all right. But shit, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good thing. They got a lot of new changes they gonna do for it.
Yeah, and the new nurse. So
I don't think I've seen her yet.
we haven't. She
Okay.
was supposed to be there today because it's Wednesday. Yeah. So me and Dave, like, cause I was going to either. I felt like heading toward the offices. I would find the nurse because I'm thinking like, all right, it's Wednesday, so she should be over here. So and then as I'm headed to her spot, I see Dave sitting in Julie's office, and they just kicking it. So I was like, "Er, that's the let me stop here because I need to grab Dave. He needs to be aware of what's going on." And they took care of me. They took care of me, bro. They took care of me. And but the initial thing me and Dave did was to walk together to the office for Amy
Mm.
over at Arrow, and nothing, not kind of, she wasn't there. I've talked to her this evening, and she was so apologetic, like, oh, she was getting her hearing testing done though.
Mm.
So that ain't, I was like, you don't put that on yourself. And she's like, no, I hold myself to a higher standard and blah. I was like, nah, but you was doing the things that we have to do. We get pulled away from the line. They don't care when they come and say, hey, come do your hearing test.
Now,
Don't
who's
care.
Amy? Is that is Amy the HR or the nurse?
Nah, it's we have Amy HR, but the new Kathy, right? The new Kathy is Amy,
Okay,
named
the
Amy.
nurse.
I didn't catch her last name yet. Um, but we had a full conversation this evening. She gonna come pull me somewhere around 8 tomorrow to get the rest of whatever. But I sent them whatever. But it wasn't no big deal to me. Like the worst thing that happened though, bro. Like so, I'm chilling. I'm applying pressure
Mm-hmm.
because that's the number one thing I know. If you because and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like I wasn't spurting.
Yeah.
I wasn't spurting. I just boom and then looked down. I was like, I saw parts of myself today that I'd never seen before.
Dang, that's almost a throw you into shock, won't it?
And I stay calm.
Yeah.
Mind you, been in the Marines, have had shit happen to me, man. So I understand. So and usually shit like that don't, you know. And as far as presence, and I'm good though.
Yeah, man, it's good to
I'm good
know.
though. I'm good though. That shit didn't hurt. That helped. But when I got up to the office and after, like, Dave had already helped me wrap it. Julie was cool as hell. Like, the response team was efficient and good. And then I'm sitting there, but like I'm sweating profusely
Mm.
more than because it wasn't that hot. And these
Yeah.
and Julie was saying like, oh well, it's hot today. I'm like, no, we've been fine all day. We got the windows open, the fans on. It ain't been hot to me. I wore shorts, got t-shirt. It has not been hot to me. But and so she was like, do you want to come sit in this chair that's a little lower? And I said to her, I was like, nah, I'm gonna grab some of that floor though. I need to lay down, bro.
I know
I
that's
need to
right.
lay down. I was like, oh. And it was again not pain induced, but I was feeling like, whew, whew. because and probably my body and brain's response to, all right, boom, this happened. I done made the trip, saw somebody, hey, this, and then real shit, Julie and Dave hopped in like champions, like
Yeah.
wrap me up good. The emergency response people that came even talked about how well they had set me up for them to come in, and I was feeling that in the moment. So I think I was like, all right, y'all got it. You know what I mean? Like, all right, because this
Yeah.
is a lot. But so and then when she asked me did I want to sit in the other chair, I was like, nah, I'm gonna grab some of that floor because I was real hot, and I hadn't been hot working all day. And I
Mm.
get a little warm. That's why I wear my shorts and shit. So I'm just naturally like when I get there, I'm already like, damn, it's hot in here. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, woo. And then I felt myself and I was like, damn, bro, like I had more sweat on me than if we were playing sports.
Yeah.
And I understand what that means, but like I really had like it was because then I was like, I'm gonna grab some floor, boom, lay down. That floor was cool. Started to feel better. Started to feel better. Just cool. Cause I got a little, but I wasn't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. So then Julie was trying to make me more. She said, like, "You want something like under your head?" And I was like, "Nah, nah, nah, I'm cool." And then she was like, "Nah, but I'm still gonna put, I got a little blanket thing. I'm gonna put it under your head at least." And I was like, "Okay." And then in the process of that, her hand wiped across and she was like, "Oh, you're sweating." I was like, "Yeah,
You
yeah."
needed that ice pack.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't know what this is because like I said, I've seen myself split open before. I've seen, I've been shot in my head before. I talk about that in that song Second Chance. That's really what that song is about. Like I really got shot in my head before. Like and was present the whole time. But this was
We might have
different. Like this
we might have to cue that song up. Play that. Man.
the shit that was so hard. If you remember, I was telling you, like when you told me, like, oh, that song Second Chance, like I listened to that every day at that time, and I was like, yeah, because that's a real story, like that's
Yeah.
a real story.
I gotta go back and listen to it now.
Yeah, the only thing that's not real is like so I had told the story and I had put in so much sound effects and had done so much. I was like, this can't end on like because I got shot in the head and I was cool. The dude who shot me in the head was really a friend. He didn't mean to do it.
Hmm.
So like we families is close and whatever. And his mom, when I got home from the hospital, his mom was sitting there, and I remember trying to make her because at this point I'm 17,
Hmm.
so I ain't a grown nigga. I ain't grown, but I was trying to like she looked like when I walked in the house and I saw her sitting there and she looked at me and and I wanted to make her feel better. So I did a little Michael Jackson turnaround spin, like whoop. But then I did lose my balance a little bit.
Hmm.
And she, oh,
Oh
I was
man.
like, oh shit, I done made it worse.
Yeah.
Bro. But not comparing this to that, but just in that sense. But yeah, that shit was crazy. This is the second time I done got, and it's on the same arm.
Hmm.
Because when I got hit with the fucking tremors on the casting line, it was that. And he was like, oh, you better be glad that shit didn't cut through because you wouldn't have no thumb. All right. I get that. But it didn't. But then after the fact, when you start sitting around like, damn, this shit could have cut my fucking thumb off. Then these motherfuckers tell me like, oh, I'm glad it wasn't down a few more inches because then that shit would have been pouring out. I'm like, stop telling me that. Like,
Man,
however, I come close to death like a lot. And I'm not even doing bad shit. I wasn't doing bad shit when I got shot in the head. I wasn't doing bad shit. But I come within those range, like, oh, if this, whatever, you'd have been fucked up, bro.
that done made you real deep though. It's a lot of depth to them situations.
It really is. It really is. Them motherfuckers was more fucked up than I was. Because one thing that I tend to do, me and my wife talk about this all the time. One of the things that I tend to do is like, so everybody's standing around looking like, oh shit, I don't like that, you know. So I have I'm the mind's in place. I'm still thinking like I'm here, I'm breathing like this, y'all talking about me like I'm not present, you know. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Like I crack jokes and shit like that. Like I'd really be trying to make the other people involved not feel so, what's the word, sad or whatever it is that
Yeah.
you feel when you in them situations. You don't really know what to say because shit you saying is just like it ain't really changing the situation or nothing. Even talking to the new nurse tonight, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I wasn't there," and I'm like, "Oh, nah, I mean, you had shit to do." Like, if I don't know, I don't know what I would have done different though. Nothing would have been, and so, but she had a lot of inquiries into why we have to do what we do up there by that roller.
Yeah.
It gets jammed, and I mean, I talked to her. I was like, it's always been like that. Like that's just a bad spot. There's no real good way to, you know.
But
And I
you kind
wasn't.
of
I
knew,
wasn't.
and you
Go
kind
ahead.
of knew though, so you really don't know a lot of different ways to get that thing through. Because cutting it is not the only way to do it. It's a
Oh, I
way.
know, bro. I know. And I'm telling you, here's where I like if I was gonna have any uh bring it back, replay it.
Rewind.
Yeah, I would have said, "Yo, Des, we jacked up over here," because I knew homeboy wasn't gonna know what to do. Though I mean, I could have walked him through it, but I was like, because I had done so the aisle, like, because it did it, and then I was on the aisle side and I saw it, and I was like, ah. So I got the aisle side straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I ran around to the wall side, and that's where. So I was on the wall side when that shit happened, and it was just, I don't know, doing it that way. I don't know. I don't know that I would have changed anything. You get what I'm saying? I don't know that I
Yeah.
would have changed anything because we were I was still doing it. Like I wasn't moving all fast. I wasn't moving crazy. I wasn't up there. It wasn't so bad like I've seen it in the past where that shit is ridiculous. Like it should have been pretty much standard, just regular cutting that shit. I just
So
happened to. Hmm.
when you open and close those rollers, that's on the cutting station, with the
Yep.
buttons on it.
Yep.
So what I did was they're usually open so it can just run through. I cut the shears off so it doesn't cut, and then I close the rollers so it'll push it straight through. So I
So
just
this is
pushed
so
it.
this is your fault.
Nah, this is what
No,
I
no,
did.
no, no, no. This is your fault.
How?
I'm just messing. I'm just messing with you. Nah, but yeah, yeah. There's a lot of what I
And
could
that
have.
only comes with experience.
Yeah, because I thought about that last week, like when, because you know how you keep dropping best practices knowledge on
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, how the fuck did Dez get this? And then I remembered, because in my mind, initially, I was thinking, because remember you and whatchamacallit went to first shift first, you and Alicia,
Okay.
because of the 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But then I was right behind, but you were still on the casting line. That's the part I didn't remember. You were still on the casting line, so you still had more time. Like I had 6 months down there and had been through whatever. Ah, Dez didn't come. Dez didn't go to the fucking casting line with me. Dez was still down there. He came down there when he said, "I'll mix."
And that was like years later.
Yeah, and I swear, not in that moment, not because of this, just like a few days ago, I was thinking about that shit, and I was like, man, Dez got this shit like really dialed in. He got some good,
Yeah, it's
you know, and
crazy.
that like, yeah, because that's the kind of shit that I was picking up down there, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, Dez went to first shift and stayed on the machine. Dez stayed on the machine.
That's deep.
And so he had time. He had more time down here. I had 6 months on the machine. Had done obviously the picking portion
Hmm.
and moved to the middle. And then after I had done the middle for a while, they moved me to first shift to go to the casting line. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, he was still down here. He
And
was still down here.
when me and you was on second shift, Jesse was on second shift, and Jesse moved to first shift with me. So I had
Yeah,
Jesse with me the whole time, and he just
yeah,
taught me all kind of things.
yeah,
So that's where I really got it from.
yeah. Jesse's the beast. Jesse's
Man,
the beast. Jesse's the beast. That was my first group leader, man.
yeah,
That's how I learned what a group leader over there really is. Got down and Jesse got dirtier than all of us. Jesse did more shit than all of us.
boy.
Because even if you knew what you were doing, Jesse just goes and does shit, you know. So that went through my head. I was like, yeah, that's right. And this is prior to the cut. This is just me thinking. I was like, man, Dez be on. Dez. Oh, that's right. He didn't go to first shift to go to the casting line. Also, he went to first shift and he was on this machine still. He came down to do the mixing. Yeah, yeah. And I told Dave a few days ago, I was like, man, I want to learn the head because that's the only part I never got to was the head.
And you'll pick up them points.
Yep. Please believe I'm always on that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
just be staying busy on the head. You see Mike on the head, he chilling all day.
oh, Mike is a motherfucker, man. Mike is a motherfucker, man.
Boy, he's chilling.
Mike done figured out the game and he got it
Yeah.
locked in. Yes. That's what and not it's shit. Last weekend, if you remember, Friday, we was there. Cause and I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Cause Mike came to me on so whatever day it was that we found out we had to do Monday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And he was like, he walked up to me with that face of disgust, how we all feel, whether you say some shit back to where he was like, y'all about to be working this weekend? I was like, yeah. He's like, mm. He didn't really say much more than that. I went there like that. And then Friday, he was, and then he was like, "All right, y'all have a good weekend." I was like, "Oh shit, how you do that?" He's like, "I told him I had some shit to do." I was like, "Man, I always tell him I got shit to do." But it's whatever. But I just yeah. Mike used to. I'll say this about Mike. So when we were over, when all of us were over last at the Cora compounder, and we were having a conversation about how clean it is now versus how it would always be trashed. That's always been one of my things. Like, God damn, man, y'all motherfuckers ain't even. And what is this? And then I'll be like, well, God, what is this?
Yeah.
And, I try to I like to make peace.
Yeah, man.
Eventually, because I don't like to be that fucking guy. Like I don't like confrontation. I don't like, you know, I don't like because I just want shit to be harmonious. Like we just come on, make it make sense. We all, but then so at certain points I'm like, man, because Dave was even getting invested in it. He's looking over there like, hi, but these two, can y'all do this shit after the meeting?
Yeah.
So we can get on to get this day going. Oh man.
You would have
But
felt bad.
you gotta get me there. You gotta get me there. But a lot of shit goes on in that place that I don't feel really good about. So I really do be, I you talk about men venting. So we can do mini venting podcast.
Man.
We can do mini venting because just shit in general, and how like I keep just seem to be the one getting stuck with like I had like Marcus, and my mind lends itself to like who picked this guy.
Man.
Showing the same. Now, like I had said to you, like I would never treat those people like that. I would
Yeah.
never treat those people like that. That's just not in my makeup. But my mind lends itself to like this person sat in front of you and said what? What is it they said? Like how would they like how is it so different from the interview to when they come? Like, I give grace because I want grace,
Yeah.
but shit,
It'll test your patience for sure.
sir, sir, sir. I'm like, damn, man.
Man.
And I don't even like that kind of shit. Like I am not about the whole like I do not want to be that version of myself. But and I partially got this way, bro, because in my younger years, I was so like because my parents taught me about love and about people and about acceptance and like none of that is missing on me. But then I look at the nature of a person and I'm like this motherfucker don't give a fuck. Like, and as much like I would do some wild shit. I will do some, hey man, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do shit, but I do it within a certain parameter. Like people be doing whatever they want to do, like in a wild way. I don't even know. Did I get to tell you about you? You got to really get me there. You got to really get me there because I'm not into making anybody feel badly or because at the end of the day that's just my opinion, right? It's just my opinion on a certain thing. You seem to have more tolerance than I do about stuff. I've noticed that, and I'm like,
Man.
okay.
That's the experience.
I'm like, okay, all right. Dez is chilling. Huh. Real shit. I'm like, there's chilling. So maybe I'm just overreact. Maybe I'm just, you know, in my Jeff space. Cool out. Cool out. So I use people that I really like I we there's no way we could do this right here if I didn't genuinely like you and see you as a person, just because I wouldn't be interested. But you always pique my curiosity. Like, I love people I can learn from, pick up stuff from. It doesn't matter like age and shit like that. None of that shit matters. It's just about a person's line of sight, how they process information, the things they've been through, and how they've learned to not. Man, I love that. I take that shit on. I love seeing people that don't get themselves worked up about, because I will. I get worked up about some shit, and then I'm just. I hate the way people drive. Like no road rage, no road rage, but like I got something like I'm just man. I think things should be. The Virgo in me got shit laid out in my mind that we should all be able to just do well. Like we should all be able to just do well, and everybody just whatever you define that how you want to, but we should all be able to just. And then if we got to do something and we don't have no choice, all right, let's do the best we can in this situation. But then when I don't see it happening across the board, yeah, I was like, man, what the fuck, man, what is this motherfucker? Is this and that? So since I know that about myself, because I do it to my wife too, and then she, hey man, listen, you right, you right, you right, you right.
Yeah.
Talk about a men's venting session.
Yeah, man. I really like in the beginning when we was talking about the your injury in the workplace.
Yes,
That's something that's something there dealing with just trauma in the workplace. It could be potential hazards,
yeah,
things people experience on a day to day. Because not a lot of people get a chance to even have a job,
right.
especially if we think about how them Africans or other people in other countries looking up to us. They'll never get a chance to experience working in America. What it's like to even work like we do.
Have you seen the videos of when they do the videos of like the work sites and they're in other countries?
Mm-mm.
No. So I run across them all the time. And one of the things that I take away is like when I first start seeing it, regardless of what color or what it looks like people are, whatever, I'm quick to be like, oh, that's not in America. Because certain shit ain't we have the potential for injury at work every day based off what we do or whatever. But there's shit, we got OSHA, there's guidelines. We don't work at the best place for the expectation of safety and then the reality of the situation. There's shit around that place that lends itself to you
Right.
getting fucked up anytime,
Yeah.
even if you're following the current protocol. And one of the things, so when I got home, the nurse Amy, wanted to talk to me, so I called her and she was asking specifics about what happened and whatever. And I told her, and she was like, "There's got to be a better way than that." I was like, "Well, for what it's worth, they're getting ready to make changes on the machine. You know, much like the casting line is down. I don't know to what degree they're going to do the same shit down on this, but there's changes coming. And I think a lot of it is about the methods and the safety of it and whatever." And she was like, "Yeah." I understand that, but I still feel like I need to say something to make sure that that stays part of the process. Respect. I understand. I understand. I understand. That place is crazy, bro. That place is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this was a good talk though, man.
Use as much of it as you can. We'll start getting it together.
You wanna put it all out there?
I'm not against it. Edit it up nice. Like I don't. Yeah. Like as far. Yeah. Yeah. Because today nobody in that building other than the two of us. I think. I don't know what you've said to, but there's probably ain't nobody watching this shit. And even if it was, it's all true. It's all real.
Yeah.
I you know, edit my content for the betterment of the end result, never because of what I say, unless you feel like, oh, that's too far. That's but
Yeah.
like me,
I forgot I can't talk about
us
anything.
talking about just like I don't, yeah, that shit I don't care about because that's true. It's just true. It's just real.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah,
that,
whenever
though,
we do this, man, it's all fair game.
man.
It's all fair game.
Also, we can this the same link. You can send it out to people. They can be in the back chat. We can be interviewing people where they can be waiting to be interviewed. We can have them on schedule. Um, different things, man.
So this is kind of like Zoom
Yeah.
in a sense, where you as the owner of that space,
Hmm.
we can have different boxes and people.
Yep. So right now I got the free plan. I can get up to 6 people on the screen,
Oh yeah.
and I believe 10 in the back chat.
Okay.
And in the back chat that we could be typing on the. I don't know if you can see the chat in there on the box, but but everybody can be. We got a chat
Oh
over
yeah, right
there,
here. Yeah.
so we can be prepping our guest or whatever. We can do interviews. We can start reaching out to people, seeing who
Yeah.
want to be interviewed, talking to businesses, anything.
Hmm.
So it's so much you can do. Content is king, man. Out here, digital real estate.
You really got on this shit, man. You was serious about it.
It's crazy, man. I'm excited
Serious
too.
about it.
They say it's therapy, man. When you create nothing from something or
Yeah.
something from nothing,
Yeah.
it's real good for you.
That makes sense to me. Creator. Creators. Because
Yeah,
it's in the title when you say content creators, you're creating something.
that's real heavy right there. That creator word too.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I've been trying to get back into my spiritual bag, man, because when you got to be mindful when you putting stuff out to the world too, because this is
Yes.
what you're gonna be remembered for.
Yes.
You will be influencing people.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get back in my spiritual bag, man, because
Where's your camera right now?
huh?
Where's your camera right
I
now?
got it. I got it set up on the top of my computer, the Logitech.
Is it on top of your monitor or your?
It's on top of my monitor screen.
Okay, that's where mine is. I'm noticing you're closer.
Okay, because on the Logitech cam, I don't know if it's on. Nah, it's probably not that. I might be closer to the screen just because I'm close to my camera. I'm about
I am.
an
Let me see.
arm's length away. I'm an arm's length away.
Still look. I look smaller. And
And
there's more.
also, you want to above your head. You want to have this much clearance above your head on the Cam.
I forgot
So
I have it.
at first mine was like this, and I brought it down because you want that much clearance above the head for good camera aesthetics.
See, and mine is okay. I will figure it out. I will figure it out.
Oh yeah, it's
I
real
like
cool,
this,
bro.
bro. I like this because I'm getting something else out of it too. You know, like I don't deal with a lot of people. I don't mess with a lot of people, and that's by choice. You know, like I'm real, and but I still, as a person, need a outlet, a way to, somebody who thinks and got ideas, and I
Yeah,
like this. I like you, bro. Like I'm glad I met you. I'm glad you opened up to talk to me about this whole thing. You know, because you like me, like you don't say a lot, you don't talk a lot at work, selective with, then you come out, then you like, all right, I'm gone. You know,
gotta protect
I
that
find it
energy.
very easy to deal with you, relate with you, however you want to say it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You be shooting any pool?
yeah,
But yeah, this is the first little thing we're doing. Imagine us 100 in.
yeah.
How
More
comfortable we
refined.
would be.
Yeah, more refined. And this is just freestyling. And honestly, at least at least 2 to 3 times a week, we should at least try and do this because it'll probably net something. If you can get a short out of it, great. If it don't pan out into nothing, but what we'll do is get used to doing this.
And I'm sure it'll build an audience, man, for sure. Because I mean,
Like I told you, man, that there's dudes on YouTube that have gone that I remember them being in a little funky apartment
yeah,
bedroom with no like, closet open, shit chirping and all that shit that are now at a well polished, wow subscribers, video like
and then say we build an audience. Oh, right, right when you start your channel up, you just direct the audience straight to your stuff because they already love you.
right,
So it's
right.
no sweat.
Yeah, there's people I
Whatever you
see
do.
when I see certain people's faces, I'm like, oh yeah, let me see what's going on. I
Yeah.
always try to remember, no matter what I do, that I'm a consumer too. So I always remember and think like a consumer, that end user, how we think, why we click on shit, what attracts us, what it is about them that make you want to continue on, even if because I watch. I have not, it don't have to be no polished ass shit. If you speak well and your points are right and the subject matter is on, you got
Yeah.
me. I'm in. I'm like, oh shit. Let me see what. I subscribe to people. I got so many shits that I subscribe to just because I'm trying to support that person. Like I'm like, yeah, I fuck with this motherfucker. Like this, that was cool. Like, and he had some good information about you name it, right? You name it.
Don't
So
even matter. Ain't even
I
gotta
try to
talk.
make it make sense to me. So, all right, so let me ask you this. So I'm not looking at my camera. I'm looking at you, right? I'm
Yeah.
looking at your segment of the screen. Do you look at the camera or do you look at the other person? So I'm looking at the camera now.
So you look at the
Does this seem natural, or like now I'm looking at you on the screen? Which seems more
it's more that when you're looking at me on the screen, it is like you talking to me on the screen. But
yeah?
when you look into
I'm,
the camera, it's like you talking to the audience.
Okay.
So if you need to say something to the audience, that's when you go talk to that audience.
Amen. Okay.
But that's that goes viral right there though. So whatever, so if you say focus on your health or
Yeah.
watch
And
your
you
whatever,
locked into. All right.
that's a
This just
viral
yeah.
story.
I gotta think about doing those things that are maybe unnatural. Because to me, it's natural to look at you, but
Doing the things that's unnatural. Yeah, you're right. Same with me. I need to start looking at this camera.
getting out of comfort spaces, that comfort zone, got to step outside, and that's why
Yeah,
I thought to ask.
they call that an exposure therapy. Expose yourself to things that you're uncomfortable with. Next thing you know, you can't wait to do that thing because you realize that it didn't kill you.
Yeah,
You say,
because in
oh man,
general, in general, us we as people, us humans, like we're wired a certain way, and certain things are just not natural.
yeah,
Certain things are just not given natural things that you do. You know,
yeah.
yeah. But
It's hard. It's
when you
hard looking
train
at that
yourself,
camera.
to do it, that's when you become literate in that path or whatever it is. When you're doing, because I still keep looking at you. Like my eyes are darting all over the place right now. Like I keep trying to do this, but I'm not.
And it's less of so much less of this of a distraction when you're just looking at the camera. No matter whatever's going on, I can still see what's going on out the corner of my eye.
Facts.
But but the camera keeps me dialed in to whatever I'm thinking too.
So you
Because
looking at the camera right now,
yeah, I am.
and then you just look down at me.
Yeah,
Okay, I can see the difference. I see the difference where your eyes are.
that's crazy. Does it look
Oh,
better?
so the reason. Okay, I'm sorry. Tell me about the teleprompter, bro.
Oh yeah,
What do you
that's what
mean?
I was thinking too.
What do you mean? You got a teleprompter.
I'm
I do
giving
the
you
two
a
screen thing, and like, cause I got, I got my like, I have my DAW open, and I'm rapping, cause I got Word open, cause in for the last whatever years, I write my rhymes down in a Word document, and
mhm.
then I'm trying to be able to speak into the mic, but I'm cutting over here to see what I'm about to be saying and whatever. Tell me about the teleprompter, sir.
Man,
What do you
let me
mean
see
you
if
got
I
a
can share.
teleprompter?
Let me see if I can share the screen for you.
What do you mean you got a teleprompter, bro?
So look, I use a free teleprompter app. They got
Okay.
a whole bunch of them online, but the one I use is already should be already bookmarked. Let me pull one up.
And it moves through your script too? Like it goes down like a teleprompter would do where it's moving,
Yeah, you about to see this is gonna be
bro,
crazy.
because I have to keep one hand on the mouse if the rhyme is a little longer, so that so I'm rapping and trying to see
So
and trying to make sure I'm in the mic.
so the app that I'm using is qprompter.com. It's a free teleprompter app, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take one of my scripts that I made. Here go a script, right?
Yep.
Say no to societal pressures and focus on self-improvement. That was going to be the video that I was going to do. I made this right up at work. So I got the hook. Oh, now let me just show you how to use the teleprompter. You want to copy whatever you want to put into the teleprompter.
Mm-hmm.
Say go right there, say copy and paste. Paste my script, what I want to use. I'm gonna hit the start new prompter. Bring that joint right on the screen. It's already set to my margins, so
Mm-hmm.
you can have it to where it is.
Goes
You can have it like that,
right.
but I
Nah.
got it
Yeah,
set.
I like that because it's right there. You don't need society's approval to achieve your dreams. Here's how to prioritize your own. Yeah. Oh, that's.
And you see this play button.
Yep.
So I try to read when the words get up here. That's when I try to read because that's where it's close to the camera at.
Okay.
So it don't look like I'm reading.
Yeah. While you're looking at the camera.
Hit this play button. I'll be like this. You don't need society's approval to achieve your dreams. All right. So it's moving a little too fast. So you can slow the speed down. You can slow the speed down of it and everything. Take 2. You don't need society's approval to achieve your dreams. Here's how to, and I'm not using, so it's not on my screen right now close to my camera, so it probably look like I'm reading, but if I was actually doing a video, I would have my camera playing and then I'll have the teleprompter over my whole screen, so I don't even see myself in the camera. I'm just looking at the teleprompter the whole time.
Yeah.
And as it's going, I'm just reading. Here's how to prioritize your own happiness and success. And then if I pause to let it scroll up, I know I'm gonna edit that out in the footage. I'll just wait for it to come up and then I'll start going. And then if I get too ahead or something, I'll just sit back and wait.
Cause you're going
and then I'll go back into it.
You're gonna make it seamless anyway.
And when I'm talking, I try to use my hands. I try to.
That is dope. Cause even the way you got it set here, all right, constantly trying to meet society's expectations, but deep down, you know it's not making you truly happy.
You want to use that. That's what you want.
Trying to meet society's expectations, but deep down, you know it's not making you truly happy. That is dope, bro. That is dope. What's the site?
This is Q Prompter.
Q Prompter.
Yeah.
Like QUE or no, CUE.
Yep, CUE Prompter. QE. It's an easy free one. If you type it in on Google looking for free ones, it'll be a lot of them you got to search through. They be trying to take your money. This one don't ask for nothing.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm using what you got, bro.
Yeah. It's easy. Now, I'm sure they got better paid ones out there.
But I bet. But for right now, like 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know that there was teleprompter. Yeah. So you just, again.
And I'm giving you the sauce because I know we're working together.
Oh, bro. Oh, my bad.
No, I was moving it up.
No, I'm off the okay. I was off the tab for a second. I went and pulled the site up. Bro.
Teleprompter. Like the professionals. And then with that, I was looking up videos on how to be natural using a teleprompter. And they was giving me, they'll give you the sauce, man. They'll show you how to set up gestures, everything you need to know, just learning from the professionals. You know, they went to school for this, the broadcasters and stuff.
Right.
So it's information out there.
That's interesting that you said the gestures, because you know people slip up sometimes. Like President Biden slipped up recently, and he was reading off a teleprompter, and he was obviously having some trouble because he was, really trying to. And he read that he said whatever, and then he said pause. And so pause was on the, in the parentheses, how to, say pause, because pause for effect, or pause to make to make that hit harder. But he read out loud, pause. So there's a skill to reading a teleprompter, but that's
the sauce, man.
And real shit, I believe I can use this while I'm recording, because if I take, like I done wrote the lyrics out, and then I boom and put it in there and set that, and then let it scroll, set my speed, because I'm telling you, depending on how it fits on the page, and I got the mic in front of me here, so I'm, and I'm trying to, but I'm You see my, so I'm trying to side out a thing, and then I know you. So I'm reaching over though because as I'm going down the Word document, I got to scroll down. So that's a
That's
hmm
a hack.
hmm
That's a Jill.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially for looking at being that looking at the camera, speaking to the intended audience. That's dope.
It's crazy,
That's
right?
dope. That's dope.
So
I
all
can
it
see I
takes,
can see you on your shit, bro.
man, taking it serious.
I just believed you initially because you're a believable person, and like I said, like you're reserved. You don't, you know. We've talked more in the last, I'll say year, because time on the casting line, but we still didn't interact like that. I think you just knew I was cool. I felt like you were, and but like since we've been on back on the line together, we've had that time to really communicate,
Yeah.
and I just was picking up things from you, and just in your the shit that and I had seen you for a while, like sit down, especially when we on the court. Like I'm just observing as fuck. I'm not nosy. I'm just observing. So like when we would be on the court, you made sure to pull your shit up to that computer, you know, and at times, so I'm like, damn, that look like.
Yeah. I
Now
couldn't
keep about my
believe
business. Now keep about my business because I ain't want to be all
yeah.
like, oh, bro, you got to, and be all in your shit like that. I'm like, oh, that look, that's a mixer. Oh, hold on. And then I keep, all right. But then I'm like, what we doing? What you doing? Like that? But it didn't matter because if the interest was in that, but then my mind goes a step further because I'm the type of person as well that knows that there's a help thing and the user manual that's so deep, like in any of the software, all of it,
Yeah.
not just FL, like anything, the Adobe, and then and that's
Yeah.
that's that's the end, that's the shit they give to you with the shit. And then I'm already oh man, because I'll go as deep as, all right, show me everything. Even though I've been using this shit for years, like show me, like all right, let me find the. I always go back to FL Studio 101, ticks and trips, hacks, and then whatever. Like I've been using it for years, but I still go back and then boom, because then it's a refresher. Some shit you forget and you don't use as much anymore, and you're like, yes, that's right. Some shit it'll still like you'll be like, okay. Some shit you don't get, you're like, what? That's nasty, and I know it is. I don't know what but that third or fourth or fifth time that you hear it, and then it snaps in. Remember today when because I'm genuine when I come to you and ask you about something at work. I'm genuine always, but like just to show you what I'm talking about. Like so when boom, Dave talked about the thing, and I didn't know what y'all was talking about, like in the meeting, and I
Hmm.
was like, "What dust collector? Like what? And but I saw you yesterday because the type of shit that grabs my attention. It was on a green thing. It looked like the shit that we use for our stickers, right? I'm like, what's Daz doing with that? He's coming to get the tape like you normally do, because when you're taping the thing to the bin. So I was just like, and then so I walked over and I kept going, but I looked and it said dust collector or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's that shit they was talking about in the meeting. Because I ain't never been on the head. I come down there and I'm curious and I ask questions just because I love to learn and I want to know, especially at work, it benefits us. It benefits us. Like, let me learn the head because that's the only part of the extruder I didn't get because I went to casting and shit. Give me another thing, but I wouldn't push for it until it was a thing where I'm going to sit there. So then I saw you because you said you was getting the your papper, right?
Yeah.
You said you was getting your papper, and I knew that was related to that. So then I just wanted to come and see like what you was doing, how you was doing, shit like that. And then, you was up there, and then when you started to bang on the thing, and I saw the particles, the dust falling out, I was like, damn, it's a lot. I didn't have no idea, but that's I was like, oh shit. So then I started formulating in my head. I was like, oh, that in some way is what is the reason we don't walk around with dust particles flickering off any lights and shit all day. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's wild. So then that made me. That's why I stayed back there. I was like, let me see, like, what's going on? And then when it puff, and that shit, I was like, what is that? Remember they had that shit come up, but it didn't seem to go too far nowhere. I was like, this is
Cause,
crazy.
Cause I cut the fan on and I had it blowing over there. I had it blowing towards that dust collector so it wouldn't be all
Oh,
everywhere.
going everywhere. Okay.
I got that
You
through
know,
experience.
yeah. So like then like so I was very genuine when I came back there and was like, okay, so that's what. And then later on, Dave came because you was using the broom handle, and Dave got that little mallet, the little
Hmm.
metal mallet. He was bang, like he was tearing it out, and then it started like really pouring out. I was like, oh wow, that shit is bananas. I've always seen that thing back there, but also there's a lot of shit back there. Like some of that shit don't move. Like there's that thing right around the corner from where you
Hmm.
pull your shit in, and then there's some powder in there. And I know that motherfucker because I still remember from when we started. Like that ain't been. I'm like, so what was this? And why is there still powder in this? Like that's crazy because nobody says nothing, and then new people come in, and all right, I guess that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know, but I really do be interested in learning new shit. So I say all of that to say that prompter shit is dope.
Yeah, man.
That prompter
That's why I
shit
keep
is
saying
dope,
it's time to
boy.
start a YouTube channel up. It's too much information out here not
Yeah,
to.
absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. If you're like to me, if you're ignorant on something in these times, that's unfortunate. Because anything you want to know how to do is out there. And if you got a capable brain to start putting it together and the balls to jump in.
Yeah. And
That's kind of what I
exposure.
was alluding to when I was texting. Like, I just never, I don't believe there's anything on this earth that if I wanted, and the desire to do so was strong enough that I wanted to do that I couldn't learn. I don't get, because the information is there. You know, I'm capable. Now, certain shit that probably is out of scope that I'm not interested in, it doesn't. That's not what I'm talking about. But like one of my favorite things in this world, well, in its existence, is information about the universe. Like I spend so much time like learning about the cosmos, like dimensions and what it looks like and trying to wrap my head around that shit. And I know I have to keep going back because at first you're like, okay, okay, and then it starts to blow your mind. And you start to lose track of like, hold on. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And then you slow down and you try to wrap. So then I'll back up, and I do that shit with everything, even reading instructions or watching videos about how to do this in FL or Studio One or whatever you're using, you can't sit there and just, because it's not the Matrix. You don't just get, download it one time. You like, got it. That's just not how it works, right? So I really spend my time digesting information in general and specifically about things that I really want to accomplish. I see that same thing in you, bro.
Yeah,
I see that same thing in you.
it's a lot of discipline though,
Yeah.
like with everything else.
Yep. Putting in them hours, the repetition. It's the same, how many, like, what is it, 10,000 free throws for a NBA player to get proper with that? Like, that's, all that shit is real shit, man. You got to keep doing it. And then you get muscle memory, just like with anything else. Then that becomes part of just your natural how you do shit, and then that frees the mind up to start thinking about that next thing. When the muscle memory is taking care of that first with the foundation, then it's like, all right, free the mind up. Go, let me. All right, so what's next? What's next?
Yeah,
How do I take it from this to this? And be like, I've always been okay. Like I know I don't have like I don't make the best beats in the world. I ain't the best rapper in the world. I don't have the best mixes in the world. But I'll hang with motherfuckers. I'm in that. It's just like understand. All right, this is how it goes from to that next branch where like, oh, and it just it clicks. You got to keep on and practice as a motherfucker, man. I come home some days, like depending on what I'm trying to do, because we don't get a whole lot of free time, um, and just practice. Like I'll practice a mix, and just pull up an arbitrary song or something like. I think I could have. All right, I'll scrap out all my plugins and shit, put all the levels back to normal, and then all right, mix it again. See if it, and then listen to I do shit like that to try to stay in practice with using the shit that I know, man. So